So work-life flow is about ebb and flow. And for me, we are constantly in motion, just like the ocean. The tides go out, the tides go in. And what I like to do is say that I'm going to help you ride the tides of your life. So there are times when the ocean pulls the water all the way out, and you can see your feet. That's my go. That's when I tell my clients, my audiences, when I do my speaking, go. That's your go time. When you can see your feet, do those high-performing actions. Do those things in your life that you need to push in an easy and relaxed way, because I don't believe in pushing anything or pulling at that, as a matter of fact.
You found your way to the Winning Tactics podcast with host Adam Sinkus. Adam discusses winning tactics with small business owners and entrepreneurs, uncovering processes and introducing the tools and solutions for enhancing the bottom line. Thanks again for finding your way to the Winning Tactics podcast. And now your host, Adam Sinkus.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Winning Tactics Day. I'm excited for today. I can't believe we're already to the end of 2022 or 2021. 2022 is knocking on the door. It has been a crazy year, and I just appreciate everybody's support for the show. If you haven't gone over and visited us at thewinningtactics.com, make sure you do that. We have a free download, our ebook, Building a Better Business Leader. Just a quick guide, 15 pages, super, super informative on how to be a better business leader. So check that out. Sign up for our email list so you can not miss an episode in 2022. And I'm excited because we are talking about work-life balance, flow, all that kind of stuff today. Just becoming a better version of ourselves in 2022 by making a better use of our time, effort, and energy. So, Lori, welcome to the show. So glad to have you on. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Adam. I'm so stoked to be here. I am Lori Bruhns, and I'm your work-life flow coach. I work with people who are ready to be more without doing more. I'm in the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina, and I enjoy helping people get to their next level in an easy and fun, relaxed way.
Well, I appreciate that because, gosh darn it, as business owners and business leaders, it's so easy to get wrapped up into the chaos of everything that's going on, and I very clearly have shiny object syndrome where whatever shiny object is dangling in front of me, I'm probably working on that, whether it's important or not. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about this. Let's unpack what do you mean by work-life flow? Because I think that's an important concept to understand as we start this conversation.
So can I say the BIT?
Yeah.
Bull. Okay, so just don't want to offend anyone. I believe work-life balance is bullshit. It is basically impossible, and let me tell you why. When you think of a scale being balanced, it doesn't move anymore, Adam. Truly balanced means without movement. There's no up, there's no down. For me, I help my clients understand that we, as humans, are made of 90% water. We are always in motion. Even when you are sleeping, everything inside is still working and going and gets you up in the next morning. So work-life flow is about ebb and flow. And for me, we are constantly in motion, just like the ocean. The tides go out, the tides go in. And what I like to do is say that I'm going to help you ride the tides of your life. So there are times when the ocean pulls the water all the way out, and you can see your feet. That's my go. That's when I tell my clients, my audiences, when I do my speaking, go. That's your go time. When you can see your feet, do those high performing actions, do those things in your life that you need to push in an easy and relaxed way, because I don't believe in pushing everything or pulling at that, as a matter of fact. Then the tide comes in. We all know it. We're all grabbing our stuff at the oceans and going, oh my God, everything is going to get wet. So when we are in the ocean and the tide comes in, it could be at our ankles, it could be at our knees, it could be over our head. And that is when we need to just pause and be where we are in that space. Knowing that that is the time when I'm saying to you, I give you permission to say no, to delegate more, to really be good with just being in the space that you are, knowing that in just a little bit of time, that water is going to go out again. So,
yeah, no, I love that. I love that analogy, right? Because life isn't static, and more often than not, I think, life is more like a crazy surf shore, where some days you got the big giant waves, and other days it's nice calm glass seas, right? And so finding balance within that space that exists, I think, is a really important concept to connect with. It takes it to a bit of a different level. You talk about balance and saying no, right? And understanding when it's okay to say no, and when maybe no isn't the right answer. So let's dive down that path a little bit. What are some strategies to start figuring out when I should say no versus not saying no?
I love this topic. This is one of my best topics when I'm presenting. How to say no efficiently and effectively. So the first thing is how we communicate. We would be more productive if we learned how to communicate more efficiently and effectively. When I'm in my business mode and speaking to all my business people, I'm like, look, people, I know this is old school, but pick up the phone. A 2-second conversation is going to save you much more time than 10 different emails going, oh my God, what is she saying? Email and text are lovely for direct communication and communication can get misconstrued. There is no intonation, you don't know the emotions. So when push comes to shove, pick up the phone. Number one, let's communicate, okay? Let's communicate more efficiently and effectively. Number two, how to say no efficiently and effectively by giving choices. When you know that the water is above your head and you are about to drown, one of the ways I like to do this is a little bit of role play. Adam, can you ask me to do something? And then I'll show you how I answer.
Can you help me optimize my entire business?
Adam, thank you so much for thinking of me. I really feel so honored that you asked me to do this. At this time, I'm not able to help you because my calendar is full. Can we look at January and find a great date for both of us?
I love it. That's a strategy I definitely use. One of the things that's like really important in my business is, I know what my capacity to get work done is from a business perspective. And so, that's important because of production timelines for me. And so I'm not afraid to tell somebody like, hey, look, so the earliest I'm going to be able to start on your project is this time frame. It may be a little bit earlier than that, but this is my targeted start date.
And this works in the office as well. We as humans have this inner anxiety of letting people know what's going on in our lives. Another little role play that I do, especially in the corporate world when they have me come speak, is hey, Lori, we need this by tomorrow. Very few people are like, you know what, Adam, I hear what you're saying, and so from this department has asked me to finish this project. So has asked me to finish this project. Would you like me to speak to so about your prioritization, or do you want to do that?
I love it.
Oh, with a smile.
Well, the smile is the key to that, right?
Yeah.
It's because if you just say it grouchily and grumpily, like it becomes like a very malicious statement. But if you say it in a genuine, I'm trying to make the best out of the situation, then it's, it's not, it doesn't feel passive aggressive at that point.
And the biggest thing that I always say is tell them that you hear them. I hear what you're saying, and. Do you know why I say "and" so much?
I don't, but I'm curious, and I'm sure our listeners are curious.
But the word "but" negates everything you said before it. So if you truly mean what you're saying, use "and." I want to help you, and da, 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 da. So the negative could come after, but and when you use "but," it negates everything before it. So I have showed that.
I love that. I used to train customer service, and one of the exercises we did was stop words, right? Words that we would come up with a list every class of words that, no matter what you say after that word, it doesn't matter because you've already stopped the stream of effective communication. So I like the "and" versus "but" philosophy. It's very, very interesting to me.
On another session, we can do how I drop the word "sorry."
I hate "sorry." I really do.
I
use it so wrong.
I have figured out how to drop "sorry" in 90% of my conversations.
In that 10%, it's probably probably an appropriate word at that point, right?
Yeah.
But people say sorry for things that they're not in control of. Like, why are you apologizing for the Amazon delivery guy showing up 2 days late? Like, that wasn't your fault. That was Amazon's fault.
My new thing is, thank you for affording me the opportunity to come a little late.
Yeah.
For whatever I need. So.
Yeah, I use like if I have to reschedule something, like it's not their fault that I have to reschedule. I say, is there any way? I appreciate any flexibility you have in rescheduling this, right?
Right.
It's like it's the feel good, it's the feel good part of that, right?
And it has been so good for me because I'm like, I'm not sorry. I didn't do anything.
Exactly. It frees your emotional state to move into a different space with the conversation, I think, and that's important, as we think about communication. I really love that, you point out, on this no stuff, like it's okay to tell people no. You need to do it in the right way, and that I think is what's important, hard no's, like there are times in life where a hard no is appropriate. But I would say a lot of times a hard no isn't always the right answer.
And I'm going to say this again because it is so, so important. It's about communicating. And not through email and not through text. It is literally about just picking up the phone and being like, hey, Adam, so let's get this done real fast. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for letting me know you need this project done. Let me tell you where I'm at right now. I got so-and-so doing this, so-and-so doing this. I really can't fit this in, but if you need me to talk to them or you want to talk to them, my first available date to get this to you is here. Can we do that? And really talk it out. It's
Yeah. You know, I think it's interesting. You say pick up the phone, right? You know, and I love that philosophy. I've believed that for a long time. You know, people are so quick. Like I think of text messages. If I just need a yes or a no from you, that's where a text message comes in. If I need to push information out to you or a large group, like I don't necessarily need a response, or I need a response from a large group of people where making 15 phone calls isn't a realistic use of my time. That's where email comes into me. But if I need to solve something like quick and simple, like, you know, this whole DM me mentality that we have, you know, with Teams and Slack and on Discord and all these tools in the office now, like it takes so much more time to do that. And to be honest, like I know that a 5-minute interruption is going to take me 20 minutes to recover from.
So I know you know this, but I'm going to let your listeners know. I am a mom of twin 15, almost 16-year-old boys. And within this past year and a half, they've been home schooling at home. So we have not had that interaction. And the other reason I think it's super important to communicate via phone or in person is about advocating for yourself. So when the boys need something from their teachers, I say to them, okay, let's advocate for yourself. Be very clear on what you need. Do not use this, that, these, those. Be specific. And now that we're in person, I said, boys, you need to set up a meeting with your teacher because they appreciate you taking the time to speak to them. Mm-hmm. And this is not just teachers, this is everybody. Just take a few minutes to really just talk to people. Because in the past year and a half, we haven't had that kind of communication. Even though it's on Zoom and stuff like that, it's different.
Man, you're speaking my language here. You know, 2020, 2021 was the year we lost the water cooler, and you know, people don't realize how important just that idle water cooler chat is, and how much we solve in those types of conversations. You know, we've lost the ability to walk down the hall and go, hey Tom, you know, I have this issue, you know, what are your thoughts on this, right? And get a quick answer that doesn't disrupt somebody's entire day. You know, Zoom is like, to me, is the devil because we have to schedule every single minute of it. And so that's been a challenging space, in my opinion, when we think about unintentional conversation, which is so important to success. So I want to pause for just a moment because I want to thank my sponsor for the show, Ventive. Ventive has been doing some absolutely amazing things in the CRM space. They've really, you know, built a system that totally takes the gaps that you normally see in marketing and sales and service and operations, you know, with these systems, and they've closed them all up. And you know, what does that look like? That means that you can manage your entire customer life cycle from prospect to project to billing all through one system. And man, as a small business owner, if I can do that in one system, it is simplifying my life. So we really appreciate their support. Definitely check them out. We'll make sure there's a link in the show notes, but you can always jump over to ventive.com. They do have a special going on for the month of December where you can get half off your first year. So as a new customer, so definitely take some time to check them out. They will make your business more efficient. So speaking of business, and we're starting to tease into this a little bit, right? You know, the world, 2022 is going to change. You know, lots of companies are talking about how do we go back to the office, and And I don't know, I haven't worked in an office.
Flying and screaming.
I haven't worked in an office in a long, long time, not just because of COVID, but because of what I do. And we have a fully remote team. But, it's kind of scary to think about like going back to an office at this point. But the reality is, there are some advantages to it. So, let's talk about some strategies that people can take as they start to transition their teams back into offices more. I think a lot of small businesses are in offices still too, but these strategies I think will equally apply. So,
I love that my life gives me my content. So last night I had my friend Crystal over. Shout out to my girl. And she's like, Lori, this going back to work is killing me. She's like, I'm dragging at so-and-so o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? She goes, well, I have my dog and blah, blah, blah. So we talked about some tips for getting more efficient and effective in the morning. So let's talk about, first and foremost, getting up. Okay, so right now, people are probably getting up 7 minutes before their meeting starts. I'm rolling out of bed.
And eight and a half here. 8.5 here.
I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. No, but seriously, everybody has gotten up later and later. So how do we go back? How do we go back to that 6:15 or that whatever? And all I have to say is incrementally. Incrementally. Do not try and do it all in one shot. And 15 minutes. So if you are basically getting up at 6:30 and want to get up at 6:15, well, let me rephrase that. Getting up at 7 and needing to get up at 6:30. First, we start going backwards 15 minutes. So you start with setting your clock at 7:45. 15 minutes. And do that for a week or two straight. If you hit snooze, you got to start all over. So that's
I like it. I like it.
No more than 15 minutes at a time, because it's just, it ain't gonna work.
Man, I wish I could even like sleep into like 7:30, 7:45. My alarm goes off. My alarm doesn't even need to go off. I wake up pretty much every morning at 6, and I don't get moving until about 6:30, 6:45 usually, but I just wake up at like 6 every morning now. So I'd love to sleep in until 7:45, 8 o'clock every morning.
Yeah, I haven't done that since I had the kids, so.
Well, yeah.
That's what happens sometimes. Okay, so tip number 1, start with incrementally waking up earlier. Don't do it all in one shot. Tip number 2, get a routine. Have a routine in the morning, because the routine sets you up for being really productive. Having that same routine of like getting your coffee, taking a break. So with 15-year-old twins, being up in my space every day. So I share them with their dad. So every other week during 2020 and 2021, I needed my time in the morning before I was with them. And so I'm a journaler. I'm a scripture reader. I meditate. That was huge for me. So if they were getting up at like 7, 8 o'clock, I was getting up an hour earlier, because I want to get my journaling in. I like having my coffee. I do a whole ritual. It's called Chimex, and it's a pour over, and I'm like,
I love it.
But you've seen my Instagram post about my coffee. So, and it's about routine, and I have a fantastic space where I could go meditate. I have one indoors, one outdoors. So it's my time. And then whatever comes at me, I just let it roll. So.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think about my own morning routine. Maybe I think it's become unintentionally structured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I haven't been as conscious about it, but I think about it and I go, yep, I do that, then I do that, then I do that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's coffee, it's chair, it's TikTok. Like that, I guilty as charged. I scroll TikTok for like 20 minutes in the morning and get my chuckles in, and then I start thinking about the day.
So that's your routine. And even if you're doing that in bed or doing whatever you need to, it gets you going. So
Mm-hmm.
You need chuckles. I need God. Got a little bit different problems. I'm joking. But yeah, so tip number 2 is just making sure you have somewhat of a routine, even if it's a small one. Tip number 3, it's what I call forward thinking. What does that mean? Well, it's thinking about what you can do in advance. I'll never forget this. And I don't know who this woman was, but she was in my audience when I was doing a presentation at Duke. And she's like, I always think of the future me. I was like, oh, total enlightenment. So now, whomever that woman was, thank you. I let people know forward thinking is about thinking about what you can do ahead of time so that you are more relaxed and so on and so forth. And how do I get there? Well, think about the future you. How will it feel like when you are dressed and on time for work? When you are done doing all the things you need to do? When that laundry's done? When those files are done? Whatever it is that is making you like, ugh, and not wanting to do it and just pushing it to the side. Stop. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and visualize and feel the future you. When I work one-on-one with my clients, we do this kind of exercise, and I'm like, tell me how it feels. See yourself, feel yourself. What does that feel like? Okay, so now that you know what that feels like, go do it.
Yeah, I love that. I always tell people, business owners that I'm working with, as we talk like marketing strategies, right? Think about the end, right? Think about what are we trying to accomplish here, and then let's work backwards from there to get the strategies to get that done. And this sounds very, very similar to that same philosophy. I love the approach to it.
Okay, so what does that look like for people going back to work or hybrid, whatever? All right, pack your lunch the night before. Rather than scrolling through your closet the morning of, pick an outfit or 2 or 3, get something together, decide beforehand what you want to wear, what you want to feel like. So just shifting it up a little bit,
Yeah, no, I 100% makes so much sense, in just thinking about the full strategy, right? What are you doing in the morning? How are you doing it? What can you take off your plate in the morning that could be done the night before and be, because mornings are rush always.
Okay, this is the number 1 tip. If y'all don't do anything, this is one huge, huge tip to get you like throughout your life for the rest of your life. Find one location for your keys and start putting your keys there.
Yes. Thank God. Yes. I started doing this because I have ADD brain and I will just set things down. And so I have a spot on my desk, wallet, keys, everything goes there. It's the same spot. If I put them elsewhere, they are lost forever.
I had a friend, he'd literally go, wallet, keys, phone, wallet, keys, phone, wallet, keys, phone, before he left the house. And watch, wallet, keys, watch, phone.
Yep, 100%. I understand that one.
So anyway, yeah. But no, seriously, like I love telling you about my family. My boys are driving.
Ugh, my condolences to you.
And so I got two 15-year-olds driving. And I was like, boys, here's the drawer for the keys. The keys must go here. I'll be going for the key. I'm like, who has it? Oh, it's in my pocket. Yeah, well, can't use it there. So, but yeah, so those are my three. Let's go back. First was one of them was to make a habit, get up 15-minute increments early, and forward think. So if you can do one of those three things, just one, it'll make your life easier.
Yeah, no, I think those are all, to me, those are all like really, really simple strategies that, like sometimes simple is good.
Okay, I'm going to be that person and tell you exactly my philosophy on productivity that will change the world. I don't believe that an app is going to save your life. When I'm doing my presentations, everyone's like, what's your favorite app? I'm like, so my favorite app is going back to basics.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the alarm goes off, getting up. If I say I'm going to do something, doing it.
Yep.
All my presentations that I do, I'm like, this is 101. We have gotten so far away from like, what can help me? What can help me? What can help me? Yes, there are apps that can help you, but you need to help yourself before an app can help you.
Garbage in, garbage out. It really is a philosophy I live by, and like you said, the apps are useless if you don't have good systems in place before you start using the app.
It's about internally doing what you say you're going to do.
Ultimately, my two favorite apps are the most basic apps, and they're separate apps. It's the calendar app and the task app, or the notes app. I use the notes app and make lists in the notes app. Those wholeheartedly are my two favorite apps. Why? Because it's simple to keep everything straight, and and then beyond that, a whiteboard. My whiteboard is my driver for life.
So are you an Apple or an Android?
Apple.
Okay, so I'm an Apple too, and I love my calendars. I put everything in my calendar because I abide to it.
Mm-hmm.
And this calendar has my boys' calendar of when they're going to their dads, my work one, and my personal. I don't believe in having three different calendars unless they're all merged together. So my Calendly sees this and says, nope, she's working out. Cannot have a meeting.
Yes. We do the same thing in our house. My son has a calendar. My daughter has a calendar. My wife and I have a combined calendar, and then I have a work calendar, and it all comes together, and everybody can see everything. So, there's no confusion as to which direction people are traveling.
Right. And that's big, with sharing my boys, I'll do some stuff and I'm like, hey, can you help me out? I got a meeting. And it helps me forward think and not say the last minute, hey, dude, I need your help. So, which brings me into delegation, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about delegation before we wrap up here.
Okay. Do what you do best and delegate the rest. I'm going to say that again. Do what you do best. Delegate the rest.
Yes, I love that statement.
So why? Why, you say? Why? Because when you are doing what you do best, it is easy, it is fun, and it is relaxed. Notice that is all I keep saying. Easy, fun, relaxed. When there is no push-pull, life, work, everything is just easier. So whatever you can do to make life easier, more fun, and relaxed for you. My pushback when I'm speaking, when I'm talking to people, they're like, I can't delegate because then, I'll be looked as not being able to do my job. I was like, okay, and someone can do it more quickly. Why won't you just ask? I listened to Jack Canfield's The Success Principles, how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And his number one thing that I took away was, if you don't ask, you'll still be at the same place. So can I do a little bit of role playing with you about delegation? All right, awesome. So Adam, Joe has asked me to do this piece in this project. I can do it, and I know you can do it faster and better. Would you be able to help me get this component done so that I could get my stuff done as well too? What does your plate look like right now?
So my plate would be tight, but maybe there's something on my plate that we could shift around and help each other out with.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. You know that I love to do ABCs and 1, 2, 3. Is there anything I could take off your plate that we can swap?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I have this piece of a presentation that I've been struggling with getting out. So if you could put some polish to that, I definitely can make some space for you.
That's my forte. Let's do this. And that's all it is. And if it's no, it's no. Yeah. But unless you ask, so I like to ask for upgrades when I'm flying.
I do too.
But seriously, unless you ask for some help on delegating, everyone's like, but that looks like I don't want to do it. No, it doesn't. It's about how you communicate it. I know you're really good at this, and it's going to take me 100 hours. It's going to take me 100 hours to just try and figure it out. Why won't I swap with you? So this is huge in business as entrepreneurs. It takes a village to be a really effective and efficient entrepreneur, solopreneur. I'm by myself. I don't have any employees. It's me, myself, and I. And this morning I was telling you about working with my friends who are graphic designers. Mm-hmm. I suck at Canva, whatever it is. And for me to learn it, it's going to take hours, and I don't want to learn it. I don't want to be a graphic designer. Yep. QuickBooks, this girl has a bookkeeper. I always say, you don't have to be in your business. You just need to be on top of your business.
Yes.
Huge difference.
100%.
I know where my money's going in and out. I know what needs to be done. I know who I've asked for help. So it's not that I have to be doing every single thing. I love speaking. I love presenting. I love all that stuff. I do not like email marketing. I do not like graphic design work. And I don't like bookkeeping. So I get my friends and I pay for people,
Yeah.
So,
that's the number one thing I hear out of business owners is I can't afford to pay somebody for this service. And I, my philosophy is, at what point can you not afford to not pay for the service? Right. What is your time worth that you spend doing that? And obviously, there's so much information out on the internet about how, quote unquote, easy it is to build a web page and do all your own marketing. And as a marketing professional, no, that stuff all takes real time. There's a real time to get all that done.
So the best quote I ever heard, and I live by this now, it was so mind-blowing and has given me my worth that I deserve and feel, is, you're not paying me for the hour that I'm presenting, the hour I'm teaching you, the hour I'm coaching you. You are paying for the 27 years worth of training that I have condensed into that 1 hour.
Yes.
The
Exactly.
training, the money I spent, everything.
Yep.
I have taken 27 years because I've been doing this for 27 years almost in April. Figure out the day, the age. But it is. It's the training that I've had. It is the certifications. I got my tool belt, and I know which tool you need, and we get things done in an hour.
Yep,
So
exactly.
And that's what you're paying for.
Exactly right. There's lean and then there's cheap in business, and I think a lot of small business owners lean towards the cheap and not the lean, right? You can run your business lean, and in the ways of virtual assistants that you can offshore a virtual assistant for $4 or $5 an hour, and have them work 10 hours in your business on menial stuff, right? And that's working lean. Cheap is, I don't want to pay somebody to do this because I don't want to pay somebody to do this, but there's a time cost that often isn't accounted for in cheap.
That's what you pay for.
Yes, exactly.
That's what you pay for. So, it's, let's just leave it at
that. I love it. We're getting towards the end of time, and I always love to wrap up the show with a final thought. It's something that our audience can take away from the show and apply in their own business. So I leave the floor to you for your final thought.
My hope is that the ROI today for you is knowing that it's not about being balanced. I want you to know that we are more of ebb and flow. And being okay to know that sometimes the tide of your life is all the way up over your head, and it's okay to say no. It's okay to delegate. It is okay to stop and say, you know what? I need to just be present right here at this time so that I can focus on what's over my head, knowing that the tide will go out, and then you can refocus on things that had to be put on the back burner. In my life, that has happened to me with some family situation back in June of 2020 through now. And I just had to put a pause on my business and say, let me deal with this water that's above my head. I know that the business will be there when I get back to it. And the way I did that was, rather than being in the business, doing a lot of marketing and stuff like that, I just pulled back a little bit, but every so often just touched it, saying, I'm still here. And because I just touched it so slightly, now that everything is back out, the tide is out, I see my feet. I'm on podcast now. I am doing what I need to do to get known for being that work-life flow coach. So what I really hope everyone takes away is that there are going to be times in your life that you need to stop. So I'm giving you permission to put a pause, a stop, put things on the back burner, and know once the tide goes out, you can go full force back into whatever it is you love and desire.
I love that. That is so powerful, so powerful. I really appreciate your time and your energy today, because you brought so many things that are so easy when the chaos happens to overlook, and I love the kind of this back to the basics mentality of it all, and it's not that it's simple to get back to the basics, but it's the reality that I think a lot of us need to hear. So really appreciate that. Where can people find out more and get a hold of you if they're interested in hiring you as a work-life flow coach?
Wonderful. Thanks for asking. And I want to say thank you so much, Adam, for having me on here. I love the fact that I'm able to share my knowledge with your audience and just help them start 2022 off on the right foot in a more easy and relaxed way. Where you can find me is everywhere at Lori Bruhns LLC, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And so, Adam, I want to let you know that I'd love to have your audience, if they would like to subscribe to my newsletter, they can do so with a free gift for 4 ways to detox your inbox and let them start off their year 2022 with a clean slate in their email box if they'd like.
Awesome. We'll make sure we get that link in the show notes so that people can go ahead and get subscribed to your newsletter. Because gosh darn it, I look at my inbox every day and I go, holy crap, there's too much stuff in here. So I'm definitely going to be signing up for that myself because I need to detox my inbox on so many levels. Well, we appreciate your time, your energy, and everything you brought to the show today. And as always, those that listen to the show, we appreciate you as well. It is you that makes us successful. So don't forget to hop on over to thewinningtactics.com and you can subscribe to our newsletter and get that free ebook, Becoming a Better Business Leader. Just a quick guide on how you can be more impactful as a leader. And as always, don't forget to jump on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review if you love the show. So we appreciate you and have a wonderful rest of your week.
Well, that wraps up yet another episode of the Winning Tactics Podcast. You can find Adam on both the LinkedIn and Facebook platforms. And to support the show and ensure the success of the podcast, would you kindly consider visiting Patreon.com/Adam Sinkus? We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, from the Winning Tactics Podcast, remember, culture is how your team behaves when no one is looking. Take good care and thanks for listening.